Welcome to our van build series. Welcome to our channel, guys. It's Fern and Frank with Java-Walker World, and today we're taking you along on this journey of transforming a Ford Transit 250 high top. And today's task
We're going to work on the ceiling. I'm going to try and put some ribbing in the ceiling so we can attach the pine board to it.
Yeah.
So, yep.
But first, let's give you a little preview. What we're trying to do is we're going to be putting wood across here, 3 pieces, because this is a bit of an arch, so in the middle, and on the sides 2 pieces in order to create. Pine board is what we're going to be using. You can see we're all insulated through here, and yeah, so let's get going. Thinking this over. So we're thinking this over. We think we're going to have a filler strip in the middle, a longer piece going across to there, and then 2 end pieces. Let's see if this works. So that's what we have there. And to attach the strapping to the ribbing of the van, we're using Rivnuts. And tight. Hey guys, this is definitely tedious work. So what Frank's doing here is he's putting the Rivnuts in, so we're doing this, don't have to add extra holes to the frame or the body of the van. So we use the Rivnuts to bolt the wood pieces across. These are the bolts that we're using. We're using the 3M. Let me tell you that here in New Brunswick, the typical hardware store does not have a lot of this. These are basically almost $1 each for each one of these. Pretty pricey. And if his positioning is right, he could just screw that into place. Why we're adding wood here is so that when we put our wood strapping across, when we put our wood strap or our wood ceiling, we have something, a place to screw and glue the wood down. We haven't decided whether or not we're going to use glue at all. We do have a really strong glue, but once the glue is on, right? Permanent. Whether nails, so we're going to use a brad nailer in order to put the tongue and groove ceiling in place. We'll see how that goes, one step at a time. He's going to screw that board,
Where do you think I should put one on either side?
or closer together in the middle, but closer together so that it's holding. So he's going to screw that wood screw to the other board so that it takes it in a little bit closer, so we have a slight little arch, minimal amount of arching. So good. Now we just have to add a little bit of wood there on the ends. There's 2 ends. And once we get all of these done, we're probably going to have to build up this wood frame for the Max fan a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see, because it has a frame, but we have to attach that frame somehow, so we might need some blocking there, but that's later ahead. And then across here, this is going to be unique to itself because we can't seem to get underneath this felt roof ceiling. So we're going to have to figure something out there. And as Frank learns from one rib to the next, he continues on one step at a time, doing the same action over and over again. Nice and tight? Yeah. That's what it's looking like right now. Our ribs. And now we got to duplicate it here. One thing for sure, we have a beautiful spot to be working in. Frank is getting a lot of progress done. What appears to be just a few minutes is hours of work. Okay guys, so while Frank is working on the top ribs and getting the frame supported, I'm going to start staining, wainscoting wood that we're using. And this is a pine, premium knotted pine. And normally when you get these type of products, there's a lot of bad quality pieces within it, but we must have bought a premium one and we didn't even realize because it is pretty nice. So I think we'll have great success with it. I'm coming in to get the stain. Poor Molly is just waiting for us. Let me go through all my boxes. I think I have, let's see, I think I have my stain and hopefully I have enough. Okay, Molly, you coming to check to see what I have? Yeah? Let's see, there's our smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector. Okay, what do I have here? This is a pre-stain. Somebody had suggested that we use this pre-stain. It will allow the stain to look more even and uniform. And what else do I have here? And this is the stain I chose to go with. That's French. Let's try the English. There we go. That's what I'm using. And Molly's into the boxes. She wants to steal our carbon monoxide detector and smoke detector, which is always good to have in a place that you're going to be living in, short or long. Now let's see if I can find some brushes or rags that I can use to apply this. I believe a rag is better. I know I have something here. I found one. Let's try that. And I better find myself a clean rag or something I can wipe. Oh, I found something that I could use. Aha! There we go. Let's try that. Now, got my stain, got my rag, my brush, and this is where I'm doing the work. I'm doing it on a trailer. I know there's leaves, it's under trees, which means we could get some debris, but I'm hoping this is all going to be fast drying. So we've got that. Okay. Wish me luck. They're not calling for any rain or any unpleasant weather. I need to open up those cans. And I needed that and a stir stick. So in reading all of this, this says only to use on oil-based products. So not water-based. I couldn't find anything here that told me that it was oil-based, but it does say cleanup is with mineral spirits, which tells me it's not water-based. Don't want to make a big mistake. I wonder if I should just do one sample first. Maybe I'll do that. It's me luck that I understood the instructions correctly. There we go. They are all, what do you call this? Pre-treated, pre-stained, all done. It's gotten a lot done. Wow. So 2, 4, 5 more end pieces on either end. Then we have to figure out what to do on the very end and what to do in the very front. But we can tackle that tomorrow. Good morning. Today, I'm going to show you what I did last night. It was a rainy afternoon, so I spent my day putting on some finish or some stain, and I'm going to show you my handiwork. This is what I use. After using the pre-treatment, as you know, that I applied, which I showed just a second ago, But last night I decided, since I'm sitting around and it's raining, let me do this. I brought all of the wood inside the house and started staining. This morning I've pulled it out onto the porch and it's nice and dry out. It's a beautiful day. But let's take a look at what I did. Here we go. What do you think of the finish? All my pieces are there. Do you see that? And there's Molly. And Frank is setting up for our new day and what we're going to tackle. The finish is a little bit tacky. It has been maybe 12 hours. So we need to give it some time. But that gives us some time here to do some prep. Frank, what are we up to? Nothing. Nothing. I'm going to try to
put that ceiling up. See how it turns out.
Yeah, even if it's a little sticky, I think it will be okay to put it up.
See if we get some of the nicer stuff going, the behind the scenes ugly stuff, insulation, strapping that you don't see.
Yeah, it gets kind of boring and very tedious, especially that that strapping that you put on the ribs of the roof or the ceiling of the van. That was pretty tedious for you to do. Molly, is it time? All right. You had a little breakfast? You did? Let's start our new day. It looks like it's getting a little overcast, so maybe some rain forecasted for a little later. Let's get some work done. I just wanted to show you the lights, the puck lights that I've chosen to put in here. As you know, we're doing a plug-in system so that we're not doing any heavy wiring in this van. So these are lights. They're called mini panel lights. 6 plug LED under cabinet lights, and hopefully that is sufficient lighting. So, this is how it goes. These are our transformers. This leads into here, and then these all clip into here. Wireless switch, some clamps, 3M tape, and the lights. So let's get going. I think it will work.
Okay, so it's been wired. Fern wired up the lights, the puck lights. So you guys, you can see they're here in the ceiling. We got 6 of them. So we got one here over the front as you come in, one here over the back, which is going to be the service area, and then 2 back as you go back to the cargo and the bed area, which you can see right here, there and there.
Let me step back so that you have a better shot.
And then we have one over the kitchen sink. So the sink's going to be here, and the fridge and the counter, and then we got one over this area, which is another counter over here.
Which is what we're calling the vanity counter.
Vanity counter. So it's got 6 lights, not a very big area, so we're going to see how much it brightens up, but we have another set of lights that we still need to be put in.
Yeah, but the other lights are wireless. So
I think between that, there's another 5, so that's going to be 11 lights.
Yeah, and we're using those wireless ones as task lighting. You know, if we want to read, it'll be night by the night light, and they are magnetic, so they attach to a magnetic strip, so I think it's pretty cool. Everybody complains about not having any light in this area when you're sitting here, but if we put that task lighting here, that will work just fine. To be clear, we are not putting any lighting here in the center, just in case we decide we need another max fan or AC, air conditioning there. We're keeping that area totally wireless so that we can cut a hole in the ceiling and put AC if we feel we really need it. So we're lowering the strapping there so that it meets up with the ceiling pine boards, and so we're lowering the max fan area or frame in order to accommodate that. So we just changed the directions of the frame boards so that it could catch the most of what we can possibly get, so we have a nailing surface for the pine boards that are going along the ceiling. So, and then we need to put some small ones on the ends there and there in order to hold the flange or the cover of the max fan. A nice finishing touch part. Give Frank, it's going to give you an idea of what is he doing here. Yeah, there we go. Okay guys, we found the center point of the van, and so we're going to center the center of the first board, and that will set the path for everything. So testing things out, making sure things make sense to us.
So that'll hide that. Okay. So I can come.
A lot of thinking. Okay, we're trying to deal with this situation and having a nailing, or not nailing, but a screwing surface here for the ceiling. We can't really get in here all that well. So we have come up with a pressure treated fence board, and we're checking to see if this might. Yeah, so it's got to be shorter. So we're troubleshooting. That's all we're doing. How to start the ceiling. We found the center point, which is right there. You'll notice that we put back these foam pieces. That is related to the airbag. There's an airbag there, and there's only one grommet holding those in place, so that when the airbag goes, it just explodes. Those pop out. So there is no fussing with those things, and where these line up is exactly how the wood is going to have to be positioned. We just had some lunch, and Frank is getting ready. We're continuing on with this ceiling. It's coming along.
Yeah, it's tedious, that's for sure. I thought tongue and groove was going to be a lot easier, but yeah, when it's not like general construction in a house. In a van, it's metal, it's angles, it's curves, but it's weird curves. So
yeah, it certainly is. Well, there is the last piece of only half of the van. This has taken us
all day.
All day. A lot of frustrations. Every piece is unique to itself. After we get this last piece in, we're going to go rest for the evening. Hello, everybody. Say hello, Frank.
Hello, Frank.
Want to look over here for a second? Hello, Frank.
Hello, Frank.
So what are you working on?
We're working on the ceiling, see if we get this baby finished. We've been at this for like 2 days already.
Yeah.
It's pretty tedious lining up the boards and the tongue and groove and where you can install it or not.
Find ourselves sometimes a little impatient. We want it done. We want to start traveling. We want to get going. What we have done so far. What do you think? So let's go over what we've done. We have done the strapping there. We have run our electrical through here. And now this is access, right here is access to that middle brake light, rear light. And so we are creating an area where we can remove easily those particular that particular spot, so we can get our hands in should we need to change a bulb as well. And that's the beauty of these panels. You notice, let's just show you here. So on this side, I haven't put the panels back like I have here. You see that? There's the insulation and all of this going on. But if you turn around this way, you see that I've put the panels back on. And the panels, I just had to do a little trimming here, and a little trimming there. We've managed to put back the wheel wells, which already had some insulation. We added more insulation. So remember, this Thinsulate insulation is also sound deadening. We are leaving areas like this open so we have access. So we will put some sort of shelf or something like that there. But not too bad what we've done so far in the last couple of days. No, well, he's cutting all the little pieces that you need for the ceiling. Let me explain. You're looking at the interior of the van, right? And you're thinking to yourself, why would you want a black interior? No. I'm going to cover this with wallpaper. And what type of wallpaper? It's a peel and stick wallpaper. We'll let you know later on how it manages over the different temperatures and that sort of thing. But we're going to be putting a white, very simplistic wallpaper on there. So it should be pretty good. I think it's going to look nice. And just to let you know, these panels had all of these little grommet type of push-in pins that hold it into place. And with the wallpaper and that sort of thing, I want to have very few of these. So we're going to have some at key point, and they will be black, and they will look like little buttons on a piece of fabric. But in the background, behind here, I have ordered some Velcro that will attach to there, and it will keep the panels from bouncing and that sound, and it will keep it secure. So I think it's going to work. So we were going to use a brad nailer, but in checking our research, nails, you should avoid using nails, because nails with the movement of the vehicle will move out of position. So screws are advised to be used here in this application. And we don't mind the screws showing on the ceiling. We think it gives it a little bit of a industrial look, eh, hun?
Yeah, I think so. I like it.
I like it. I might have to paint the screws because we have two different color screws, because we ran out of screws and we went back and they were out of the ones that we initially started to use. Well, friends, we have had a lot of progress today. Frank's still cutting his last piece, but look at this. Pretty sweet. Hey, look at that. So I'm steadily trimming off the side panels, putting them in position. I'm temporarily, you can see I'm temporarily fastening them because we have some shelves to put up. We're not going to go crazy with shelves, but we do need some shelves. So Frank has his last piece. Then I will fit the corrugated plastic sheet here. Still have to do a little trap door or system there. That's good. Coming along pretty good. All of this will be hidden with the wallpaper in the cabinet. And if you recall, we were going to do a piece of wood going down here for the vanity. And we're going to plop a mirror there. We have some trim work to do. All the finicky stuff needs to be done. But we are very, very, very pleased. 2 days it's taken us to put up this ceiling. Not 100% done, but pretty close. Yes, too far ahead of ourselves, but the passenger seat hopefully will be a swivel. And then we have these mounting spots. I don't know if you could see that there. The idea is apparently, I've seen people do it, they put a lagoon table there. So it's a mount, a lagoon table, which is something that they use on boats. And you can dismantle it and pop up a table very quickly. And then we have a bench that will be here. So when we're having a meal, one of us can sit here and the other can sit there with the lagoon table between us. Very cool. So our access hole is now covered. Pretty good. Frank did an awesome job. Hey, let's see if it fits. Frank just trimmed
the flange that
flange
finishes off the Max fan. Gives it the nice finish on the inside. And there she blows.
Beautiful.
There she blows.
Excellent.
There we go.
Excellent. We're admiring our work. Now let's get the lighting done. Molly's asleep, being a good girl. Here is our light system. And it goes like this. Well, here is our light system that we got. I'll show you a picture of what the product is, and it's a plug-in system. These are basically lights that you would put underneath a kitchen cabinet, the overhead cabinets. And I'll show you the reason why I've used this is because it's plug-in, and we're going to plug it into our Blue Eddy or Shore Power. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode. Join us next week as we tackle a whole bunch more. Here are just some highlights for you. There's Molly. We are putting the cabinet together, and then the drawers are moved that way, so it's a little bit smaller. Across, the fridge is going to be here, and it will cover it to here. For the smaller cabinet, what we're calling we have raised the floor drawers under here so that we can maximize storage.